I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And today, going to be kind of a short video, but I'm going to just update you on a couple of things that I'm working on, and it's taken me more time to work my way through it. Part of it has to do with a complete historical timeline going back to the Sumerians and forward through the time of Egypt, the building of the pyramids, coming forth into Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Esau, the Edomite, or Esau is Edom, coming forth into the new kingdom of Egypt, Exodus, Solomon, Babylon, the Romans, the birth of Christ, the crucifixion, destruction of the Second Temple, the rise of Islam, the medieval period, the Crusades, the Black Death, which was a planned demonic, and I can pretty much tell you who did it too. Anyways, let's keep going here. The Protestant Reform, French Revolution, and others there, all the way forward to September 2001 and 2019 with the planned demonic, where they gave out all the free needles. That's part of what I'm doing. And the other thing it's all related, is I'm looking at the river Euphrates, okay? And what could cause it to dry up. And the river Euphrates is got a lot of dams, okay? The river Euphrates comes out of the mountains up in Turkey. And I didn't know all this, so I'm researching it for us. Comes out of the mountains of Turkey. This is the head of the river, and where pretty much all of the water comes from is out of Turkey, okay? Or the high majority. And then it travels down through Syria, and then into Iraq, and then out into the Gulf over here, okay? And you can see on the right-hand side the dams that are there, okay? Number one up here, I don't know how you pronounce it, Ataturk Dam, and the Karakaya Dam, and the Briksik Dam, number 3 right here, the Tabuku Dam, and the Tishrin Dam, and the Haditha Dam, okay? And also the East Hitwar, which is in Iraq, and the Kurna Barrage, which is in Iraq, and the Hitha, which was in Iraq. The Tishra is in Syria, and the other one here, Tabukua, in Syria. But these 3 up here at the head of the river coming out of the mountains are in Turkey. So one thing that tells me is Turkey controls a major part of the water that runs down through Syria and Iraq, okay? They're in control of the water. So whoever is in control of Turkey, which I would say it's likely the same people, they're in control of this water. And the way that this Euphrates would run dry is 2 ways, basically. One, supernatural, like a major drought, and it had to be a major one. Or it'd be man-made, because all they got to do is turn the water off at these dams, okay? Now, there's one problem with that, is that you've got these reservoirs that are up here, okay, that were built back in Turkey in 1992, 1987, and 2000. And those reservoirs can only hold so much water before they'll overrun the dams. So, you got to take that into consideration. They can't just turn it off and turn it off. Hold on just a second. Hang on just a second, guys. Someone knocking on my door. It's just Miss Kim's sister. Okay, so you can't just turn it off completely. You got to have some place for that water to go. So I'm looking at the dam system and different time periods. I'm using Google Earth here. And if I go back to 1984, see 1984. Now, if you notice, the dates when these dams were built was 1987. 3 years later was when this one was completed. And then 1992 was when this one was completed. And then 2000 was when this one was completed. So, if this imagery is correct, this was in 1984. They didn't build an actual dam until 1987. Okay. Well, not at least in Turkey anyways. They had one in Syria in 74, 99, and 84. And they had the ones in Iraq is 2012 and 2016. Okay. So the oldest one on the Euphrates, that's an actual reservoir and dam. Of course, they've been diverting water, and there's a lot of that goes on as well for crops and all that. But an actual dam, the dam's back into a reservoir. The first one was in 74 in Syria. That was number 4. That's this one right here. And I can show you that one on the map here in a second. But Syria was the first to put in a reservoir. And then the next one was 84, which was Syria again, right here. And then 87, which was Turkey. And then 92. Yep, 92. And then that jumps forward to 99, 2000, 2012, 2016. Now, you may wonder why all this matters, and I don't know if it does. But you've got to look at something closely in order to figure out if what might be going on. Of course, part of this is looking at the prophecy of the drying up of the Euphrates, because that's the river we're looking at, is the Euphrates. I want to show you something. This is 1984. I've got the thing ran back to 1984. So supposedly there was only one dam. Yeah, this one in Syria, number 4. So back up over here. I'm looking currently down here in Iraq. Okay. If I back out here, you can see where I'm at. So here's Baghdad. So I'm going back up about midway, headed back up towards Syria. So I am approximately somewhere's right in here. Okay. And I'm going to show you why I'm looking at this particular area. Let's go back in here again. I think this is the place I was looking at. And let's go forward from 84 to 85. You see the difference in the water, the amount of water from 84 to 85. Now, was that because of this dam? This dam, what is it called? The see what that says. Does it say anything? Governors Iraq, COSPA. So it may be this number 6 right here, the Haditha Dam. Haditha. Names don't match up there exactly. But there was coming in 1 year. I mean, but the dam's still there. Oops, can't go in that close on here. The dam is there. But in 1 year, the amount of water behind it changed dramatically. And it's not just here either. If you go, let's see here. Let's look down here. Not really a change there. So let's go upstream. So here's Syria right here. This is the Syrian line right there. So that means that this is this dam right here. The Haditha Dam. The Haditha Dam in Iraq, built in 84. And we're looking at the year 84. Okay. So it was built in 84. And when they built it in 84, this is what happened. Here's the dam again. It started backing up water. Okay, well, that makes sense. Now, if we come forward, they got even more water, see? So that's the reservoir forming. There we go. Here's 88, even more water. Here's 89, even more water. 1990. Now, one thing this could mean is that this could be a choke point for turning off the water and drying the Euphrates that runs on out from there. It's an obvious place where it could be cut off. As you can see, obviously it backed up the water dramatically. And what that did, of course, is cause this area down here to be drier than what it was. Let's see if we can notice anything down here. Like if we look here, let's go back to 84 and see if it looks wetter here. Well, I don't know if it looks wetter. It's drier now. See right here. You can see these islands right here. Whoops. You can see these islands right here in 89. But if we go back, it starts drying up. I mean, it should get wetter where you can't, well, you can still kind of see the islands a little bit. So, but there's obviously a difference because, you know, the water started backing up right here at this dam, this Haditha Dam. Okay. Now, let's look upriver some more. Okay, if we go right here, let's see, where's the next dam at? That's 6. So it would be midway Syria. Midway, Syria is where the next dam is, major dam. So let's look at that. It's right about, should be this one right here. Yep, here we go. So this is 84. Supposedly image from 84, and it matches up with 84 and the dam being built down in Iraq. So let's see what it looks like from, when was this built? This one was built number 4, Syria, Raqqa province, Tabqa Dam, number 4, right here. And then 5 and 6. 5 is supposedly, where's number 5 at? 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't have it on the map on this thing here. Number 5 is not showing up, but it should show up on here. So there's only 2 in Syria. So we should be able to see that. This is obviously one of them. Don't see no reservoirs there. None there. But we definitely got one right here. So let's look at this and go forward to 80. Let's see, when was it built? That one was built in 74, so that was already there. And then they completed the second one in 99. So we can go forward to 99, but let's just look forward to 89. Not really much of a difference. This looks greener over here, but that's them using the water to grow stuff. I know this is probably boring some people to death, but this is what I have to do a lot of times, even when I'm not, recording a video. Let's move forward to, let's go 84. Here's 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. Let's look and see if we can see, because they supposedly built this dam in 99, and it's in Syria, according to what I could find out. So where did they put that dam at? I don't see really anything that looks like another dam. I'm sure I can look it up. And it says it's in the Aleppo province. And the reservoir is pretty small. It's 2.1 million meters squared, I guess, compared to the other one, which is 11.6 billion. So this one's 11.6 and the other one's only a 2.2. So it would be pretty small. Anyways, let's keep going on up the river here. If we come here, see, there's not one here, unless this is the other little one. Almost looks like they were trying to build maybe one there, possibly, because if we go back to 99, see that? They built this dam in 99, right there, and the water started backing up. See that? It was lower, and then it started backing up. Okay, so that's obviously the other dam location. Okay, so let's go forward. And let's see, where's the next dam at on the map? It is up into Turkey quite a ways. The really interesting ones are further north, actually. What does this do? Does that get rid of that? A little bit. Okay. So here's obviously the next dam right here. Okay, this was in 1999. When was this dam built? Number 2 and number 3. 2000. So right here, 2000. Number 3. Okay. So it's not a huge one. They've got 2 other extremely huge ones, like the big one down here in Syria is 11.6, and they got the small one 2.6. Up in Turkey, they've got one that is 726 meters or something like that. Anyways, it's a lot bigger, and they have another one that's 48. Both of those are way, way, way bigger than the biggest one in Syria or the ones in Iraq. So Turkey's got the water. Okay. This was 99. We go to 2010. Let's back out a little bit. Let's go back to 99. Was it 99? '98. I guess we got to keep going. See when anything changes major here. There we go. See the reservoir fill up. So here we are. That's 1989. Starts filling 1990. And what did we say? Well, they're saying 2000 over here, or 92 right here, the number 1, but that's way up there. And 1987. Okay, maybe it was completed in 87. There we go. Okay, so completed in 87. You can see that they were literally building it. Okay. And once they finished it, it started filling. So let's go from 87 and look at this whole area. Let's go to 91. Whoa, big difference. See, now we're starting to gain some understanding of the Euphrates. You see? So how much water is man controlling? Let's go to 1997. Look at that. Look at all this back up in here. Go back to 87. They were just runoff areas, kind of. And then, bang, enormous amounts of water saved. A massive reservoir. Absolutely massive. So let's go back to 87. See how dry it all is up here? I mean, I would say the Euphrates dried up already before. I mean, that's about what I want to say almost. Huh. But you can also see it would be pretty easy for them to cut the water off for a day, a week. How quick would it run dry so that an army from the north could cross? I'm just saying, that's what the Bible says. So let's go back to, put it on 96, and let's follow the river on up into Turkey. Okay? So we got to go up this way. And it wraps around all the way to right here where the next dam is at. Well, I say it's there. I don't see the dam. Let me look at my map again. So it's right at the bottom of that turn right there. Of this loop that's up here. See this big circle? It's right at the bottom of it. Okay. Where the river turns to the south. Right there. Okay, so that's 96. What year did they build it? 92. Let's go back a couple of years. It's not really changing much. It's going back to 80, into the 80s. It's 95. That's 85. Let's go up here where the reservoir is actually at. Let's see, 95. Okay, we got a lot more water there at some point. 85. 86. So 85 to 86, big water jump. 85 to 86. Says this was completed in 87 though. From 85 to 86, we had a water level increase, a major one. You can kind of see it, watch. 86, 87. What happened here? So I'm zooming out and it's using a different picture taken at a different time. So somewhere's right in here is when they added that additional dam. So let me come on back over here, because this is a major reservoir area here, as you can see. Looks like there be a dam right here. Yeah. Here is the next one up here. This is 1987. Where we're at in the timeline. 87 is the number 2 dam. That is the biggest one. So let's go 86. So see how it dried up? From 87, drop it down to 86. It's got less water. Let's back on down some more if we can. 84 is as far as we can go, but we should be able to see the reservoir filling up. That must be what they consider full pool. maybe. Yeah, that's kind of where they want it to be, I guess. So now we know quite a bit more about the water. You can see all these mountains here. These mountains are, they get snowpack up here, and that's where a lot of the water's coming from, is this snowpack up here and running down out of Turkey, through Syria, through Iraq, and down into the Gulf. Let's see here. This is 1998. Let's go back to 84 again. Here's an 84. Let's go 10 years, 94. Jump a few years on forward. Just seeing how it looks any different in this location. Not so much, really. So all they got down here is basically a trickle. I've seen videos online of where there's this tower that sticks up out of the water, and I don't know where that's at. And it's in the Euphrates. I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You've seen the videos where the water was really low on it, and then this year now it's actually back up. But now we know what's controlling the water on the Euphrates. It's man, for the most part. Obviously, Father in heaven can have a hand in that. And it's said that, a lot of this area was lush a long time ago, okay? Was very, very lush. Like over here, if you go over into Egypt, a lot of this area, like where the pyramids are at and everything, this was lush. It was like tropical, basically, okay? And of course, it's no longer tropical now. It's, for the most part, pretty dry. But the point again of this video is us learning something more about that area, okay? And I'm putting together that timeline that I showed you, and I'm looking at some maps and understanding. I wanted to understand where Mount Sierra was. This is the area that Esau and Edom occupied for a very long time. As you can see, it says Edom right here. And really just, to understand the future, you've got to understand the past. And that's what I'm attempting to do, okay? Mount Sinai. Yeah, so I'm still working on it, but I thought I would share some of this with you today so you could kind of see what I'm doing and understand why I'm doing it, and let you know I'm still on the job. Today I don't have my updated sponsor list prepared, unfortunately, because I've been digging all morning on this Euphrates thing, okay? And but I'll have it updated next time before I highly likely do another show. Sorry, sometimes when I get slow talking, it's not always that I speak real fast. Matter of fact, most of the time I speak slow. I get long-winded. With that in mind, I love you. We'll see you next time.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.